Hosted by Matt Rich. Watch the market unfold. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Wherever you're tuning in from around the globe. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Welcome to the Trading Dollar Tickers broadcast. I'm your host, Matt Riches. It is Friday. Happy Friday, May 22nd, 2026. We're coming into Friday with the market showing resilience. SPX and the Nasdaq 100 both sold off in the overnight, but they've been recovering nicely. The Dow Jones hit a fresh all-time high in the pre-market. The VIX is falling, and so is the 10-year Treasury yield note. We do have some data coming out at 7 a.m. We'll get to that later. So today's question is simple. Can buyers keep defending this recovery, or does sentiment data slow down the move? I track the headlines, the data, and the market levels, so you don't have to. This show is for education and entertainment purposes only. Always do your own research, but you can use this show as a foundation. Before we get into the charts, let's get into the mantra and set our mindset. I deserve to be healthy. I deserve to be happy. I deserve the wealth that I'm building for me and my family. Riches and freedom, they come to our hands. I am the master of all I command. My learning is limitless. My earnings are too. The more I discover, the more I can do. The stock market is a machine of design, and I have the power to make that wealth mine. I am capable, I am skilled, I am bold. Blessings on the journey as the vision unfolds. All right, let's see what's going on with the market. Here's what makes this morning interesting. The market is not opening from panic. It's opening from a recovery attempt. SPX hit a pre-market low at 7,449. It did hit a pre-market high at 7,479. It's currently trading at 7,443. So it's been trending up ever since 3:30 a.m. We had the same type of thing for the Nasdaq 100. It hit a pre-market high at 29,578, but that was at 1 a.m. By 3:30 a.m., it had dropped all the way down to 29,351, but it's been trending up ever since then, and is now at 29,466. The Dow Jones hit an all-time high here in the pre-market at 50,662, y'all. So that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So the whole market is looking strong, y'all. Excuse me. The VIX is around 16.77 and has been dropping, so that's going to allow the stocks to continue to rise. So the 10-year Treasury note, after peaking at 4.69, is currently around 4.54, and it is actually in the gap, y'all. It just came into the gap. The gap started at 4.55%. So if we can get this to continue to fall, then we can definitely see more upside in the stocks. Lower yields can support growth stocks, technology, and a broader risk appetite. The Fear and Greed Index is now at 58. So we're getting pretty close to neutral on the Fear and Greed Index. So that can also give the market more room to run. At 7 a.m., we do have UOM consumer sentiment. The forecast and prior readings are both around 48.2 based on the economic calendar. This report matters because consumer sentiment gives us a read on how households feel about the economy, and the inflation expectations inside of the report matter for rates, yields, and Fed expectations. No notable earnings today. Bitcoin's around 77,400 and gold is around 4,500 per ounce. All right, next let's get into Robert Greene's daily law for today. Title: Determine the strength of people's character. Daily law: engaging strength or weakness. Look at how people handle stressful moments and responsibility. Look at their patterns. What have they actually completed or accomplished? Today's law is about judging strength by behavior over time. Robert Greene is reminding us that intelligence, charm, and talent are not enough if character is weak. A person may have good ideas, they may look impressive, they may even perform well when things are easy, but pressure reveals character. Responsibility reveals character. Criticism reveals character. The lesson is to study patterns. What have they actually completed? How do they handle stress? Do they make people around them stronger, or do they create hidden costs? In long-term investing, this applies directly to companies and leadership. A company can look impressive during a bull market. The CEO can sound brilliant when everything is going well. The stock can perform when conditions are easy, but the real test comes under pressure. How does the company handle margin compression? How does management respond to competition? Can the business keep executing when rates rise, costs increase, or demand slow? Strong companies reveal themselves through consistency, discipline, and completed results. Weak companies reveal themselves when pressure rises. For day trading, this law connects directly to price behavior. A setup can look strong when the market is calm, but the real test is how price handles stress. Does support hold after a pullback? Do buyers step in when the VIX drops? Does price recover after an overnight low? Does the move keep building, or does it fail when challenged? Today, SPX and the Nasdaq 100 recovered from early weakness. The Dow hit a new high. Now we watch whether the strength holds when the market opens. Stay patient, stay disciplined. Execution over emotion. Process over prediction. Now let's get into these charts, y'all. All right, let's start with SPX. Currently in the pre-market at 746.46. To the downside support, we got 744.87, 744.35, and the pre-market low at 743.63. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high at 746.60, 746.65, and then a path to the all-time high. We might get that today. Next, we got QQQ currently in the pre-market at 718. The downside support, we got 717.55, 717.12, 716.04, and the pre-market low is 714.67. To the upside resistance, we got 718.65, 719.80, 720.10, 720.78, and then the all-time high. The VIX is currently at 1676. Next, we got NVIDIA currently in the pre-market at 220.78. And the downside support, we got 219.45. The pre-market low, 219.22. And then yesterday's low, 217.94, followed by 216.60. To the upside resistance, we got 221.60. We got the pre-market high, 221.71. We got 222.35, and then 223.75. Next, we got Google currently in the pre-market at 388.55. To the downside support, we got 387.35, 387.20. 386.05, and then 385. To the upside resistance, we got 388.50, 389.10, 389.85. The pre-market high at 390.80, 391.30, and yesterday's high at 392.50. Next, we got Apple currently in the pre-market at 306.04. It is in price discovery land. To the downside support, we got yesterday's high at 305.54, followed by the pre-market low at 304.70, 304.20, and then 303.05. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high of 306.40. And I got a price and price discovery lane at 307.25. And then I got another one at 309.55. Next, we got Microsoft currently in the pre-market at 420.50. To the downside support. Give me 1 second. Let me change this. To the downside support, we got 418.05, followed by the pre-market low of 417.52, 417, and then 415.71. For the upside resistance, we got 420.75. We got the pre-market high of 421.44, followed by 422.80, 423.85, and the weekly level at 424.60. Next, we got Amazon currently in the pre-market at 268.73. To the downside support, we got the pre-market low of 267.75, 266.65, 265.80, and 265.15. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high at 269.47, followed by 270.10, and the weekly level at 272.70. Next, we got TSM currently in the pre-market at 409. To the downside support, we got the pre-market low of 406.50, followed by 405, 402, and 401.87. In the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high of 410.23, followed by 411.46, and a weekly level of 411.70. Next, we got AVGO currently in the pre-market at 416.54. To the downside support, we got the pre-market low of 415.02, 412.60, and 410.50. To the upside resistance, we got 416.80, 418.40, 419.25, which is the pre-market high, and 420.30. Next, we got Meta currently in the pre-market at 607.66. To the downside support, we got 605.10, 601.95, $600.40. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high at 608.65, 609.60. Next, we got Tesla currently in the pre-market at 420.91. To the downside support, we got 417.40, 416, which is a pre-market low, of 414.30 and 412.90. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high of 422.25, 423.45, 426.95, 428.25. All right, we'll be back at the. Actually, we're not doing the market open today because we are trading again. So we will be back on. We'll be back. We do have a 3-day weekend because of the holiday on Monday, but we'll be back on tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow and we'll be charting levels for next week. Appreciate y'all for tuning in to the show. Shout out to everybody on YouTube Live. Set those alerts. And happy Friday. Happy Memorial Day weekend. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom.